I stood in our kitchen, chopping carrots for dinner, when my husband's laughter drifted down from upstairs. Not the polite chuckle he uses at work functions, but that rare, genuine laugh I hadn't heard in months. My knife stilled mid-slice. I'm Gabby, and until that moment, I thought I knew everything about my marriage. She's just going through a rough patch, Ryan was saying, his voice warm with concern. I'll stop by tomorrow after work. Yeah, around 6. A pause. Don't worry about it, Chloe. You know I'd do anything for him. Him? The carrot slipped from my fingers, rolling across the cutting board. Ryan had mentioned his old friend Chloe was back in town, but he'd never said anything about a him. Of course I'll bring the dinosaur book. Tell Liam I said goodnight. The knife clattered against the counter. Liam. Chloe's son. The one she'd had 5 years ago, right after moving away. The timing hit me like a punch to the gut. Love you too, Ryan whispered, so quietly I almost missed it. My hands trembled as I gripped the edge of the counter. The kitchen suddenly felt too small, too warm. Emma's drawings on the fridge, stick figures of our perfect little family, seemed to mock me. Hey, honey. Ryan appeared in the doorway, phone tucked into his pocket. Something smells good. I forced myself to pick up the knife again, focusing on the steady rhythm of chopping. Just making soup. My voice came out steadier than I expected. Work call? Yeah, just wrapping up some things for tomorrow. He kissed my cheek, casual as ever. Need any help? No. I dumped the carrots into the pot with more force than necessary. I've got it under control. Ryan lingered, watching me. Everything okay? You seem tense. I turned to face him, studying the man I'd married 12 years ago. His blue eyes held that familiar concerned expression, the one that used to make me feel cherished. Now it just made me wonder how many times he'd looked at Chloe that way. Actually, I said, I was thinking about Chloe. You mentioned she's back in town. His expression didn't change, but his hand twitched slightly against the counter. Yeah, moved back last month. She's teaching yoga at that new studio downtown. And she has a son? I kept my tone light, curious. Just a wife making conversation about her husband's old friend. Liam. Ryan nodded, reaching for an apple from the fruit bowl. Sweet kid. Having some trouble adjusting to the move. That must be hard, I said, watching him take a bite. Being a single mom. He chewed slowly, then checked his watch. I should get some work done before dinner. Call me when it's ready. I nodded, turning back to the stove. Behind me, his footsteps retreated upstairs to his home office, where he'd probably make more private phone calls to his old friend. The soup bubbled, steam rising in angry wisps. I stirred it mechanically, my mind racing through years of memories, searching for signs I might have missed. The way Ryan always changed the subject when Chloe came up. His occasional business trips that left him oddly refreshed instead of exhausted. The photo I'd found last week while cleaning, buried in his desk drawer, Chloe at the beach, laughing at something off camera. Her hand resting on a slightly rounded belly. 5 years ago. The spoon scraped against the bottom of the pot, and I realized I'd been stirring the same spot for minutes. Upstairs, I could hear Ryan's muffled voice, probably on another call. To her? To Liam? I pulled out my phone and opened my contacts, scrolling until I found my brother David's number. My finger hovered over it for a moment before I pressed call. Hey, sis, he answered on the second ring. What's up? David, I said quietly, I need your help with something. David's coffee went cold as he listened to my suspicions. We sat in a corner booth at Riverside Cafe, far from our usual spots, away from familiar faces. You really think Ryan would do that? He tapped his fingers against the ceramic mug. I mean, this is the guy who cried at Emma's kindergarten graduation. The same guy who whispered, "Love you," to another woman on the phone. My voice cracked. I pushed my untouched pastry away. You didn't hear him, David. The way he talked to her. Have you asked him directly? Oh, sure. Hey, honey, are you Liam's father? That'll go over well at dinner. A waitress approached with the pot, but David waved her away. Look, Gabby, you need more than just a phone call and an old photo. This could blow up your whole family. It's already blown up. I'm just the only one who knows it yet. I pulled out my phone, showing him Ryan's recent credit card statement. Look at these charges. Toys R Us, Children's Bookstore, Build-A-Bear. Emma's birthday was months ago. David leaned back, running a hand through his hair. Shit. There's more. I swiped to another screen. Weekly transfers to an account I don't recognize. Started 5 years ago, right after Liam was born. Could be anything. Investment account, maybe? The bell above the cafe door chimed. I glanced up and froze. Evelyn Miller, my mother-in-law, swept in like she owned the place. Her eyes locked onto our table immediately. Gabriella, David. What a lovely surprise. She air-kissed my cheek, her perfume overwhelming. I just had lunch with Ryan. He mentioned you weren't feeling well, dear. But here you are. My stomach clenched. Just needed some fresh air. And my brother's advice. Oh! Evelyn's perfectly penciled eyebrows arched. About what? Work stuff, David cut in smoothly. Gabby's thinking about getting back into marketing. But who would look after Emma? Evelyn's tone dripped with concern. Ryan works such long hours, and you know how important family is to him. I bit back a laugh. Yes, Ryan's very devoted to family. Speaking of family, Evelyn brightened. We're having dinner tomorrow night. Chloe's joining us. You remember her? Ryan's childhood friend? She's going through such a difficult time, poor thing. Single mother, you know how it is. Or, well, I suppose you don't. David's hand found mine under the table, squeezing tight. Actually, I said, I'd love to meet Chloe properly. And Liam. Something flickered across Evelyn's face. Oh, Liam has a sitter tomorrow. Just adult time. What a shame. I stood up, gathering my purse. Maybe another time then. David, walk me out. Outside, the autumn air bit at my cheeks. David waited until we were halfway down the block before speaking. You're right. Something's off. The way she showed up here? Ryan's watching me. I hugged myself against the chill. And that dinner tomorrow? Convenient timing. Want me to come with you? No. I straightened my shoulders. But I need another favor. Can you watch Emma tomorrow night? I have a feeling things might get complicated. David studied my face. What are you planning? Nothing yet. I managed a smile. Just keeping my options open. My phone buzzed, a text from Ryan. Mom said she saw you out. Feeling better. I typed back, much. Looking forward to dinner tomorrow. 3 dots appeared as he typed, disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, great. Love you. I stared at those 2 words, remembering how differently they'd sounded when he'd said them to Chloe. Another message popped up. Chloe's excited to meet you properly. I'm excited too, I replied, and for the first time since yesterday, I wasn't lying. David touched my arm. Be careful, sis. Whatever you're thinking. I'm done being careful. I pocketed my phone. I'm done being the perfect, understanding wife. Tomorrow night, I'm going to find out exactly what kind of man I married. And if you don't like the answer? The autumn wind whipped around us, carrying dead leaves past our feet. Then, I'll make sure he doesn't like what happens next. The text from David came at 6:15 p.m. He just left Chloe's house. Headed your way. I deleted it immediately, my hands steady despite the rage burning through me. Ryan had canceled our dinner plans, claiming a late meeting with clients. The dinosaur book sat on our kitchen counter, forgotten in his rush this morning. The front door opened at 6:45. I counted his footsteps, 4 to hang up his coat, 3 to the kitchen where I stood chopping vegetables for a dinner I wouldn't serve. Sorry I'm late, honey. He loosened his tie. Traffic was. How's Liam? The knife stilled against the cutting board. Ryan's reflection in the window froze. What? Liam. I turned around slowly. Chloe's son. The one you just spent 2 hours with instead of at your client meeting. Color drained from his face. You had me followed? Interesting that's your first concern. I picked up the dinosaur book. Not explaining why you lied, or why you're playing daddy to another woman's child. It's not what you think. He reached for me, but I stepped back. Chloe needed help. For 5 years. My laugh sounded foreign, bitter. The money transfers started right after he was born, Ryan. Did you think I wouldn't notice? You checked my accounts? His voice hardened. That's crossing a line, Gabriella. A line? The book slammed against the counter. You want to talk about lines? How about the line between friendship and whatever the hell you're doing with Chloe? His phone buzzed. We both stared at it as Chloe's name lit up the screen. Answer it, I said. Tell her how you just got caught. Instead, he switched the phone off. We need to discuss this rationally. Chloe was alone, scared. Is he yours? The question hung between us like smoke. Ryan's jaw worked silently. Answer me. I don't know. The words fell like stones. She never said. But the timing. Something inside me shattered. I gripped the counter to stay upright. All these years. Every time you said you were working late. Every business trip. No. He stepped forward. It wasn't like that. We weren't. There was just one time, before she left town. I never meant. To get caught? My voice cracked. To have a secret son? To destroy our family? Our family isn't destroyed. He reached for me again. We can work through this. Emma, don't. I jerked away. Don't you dare use our daughter to manipulate me. I'm not manipulating anyone. I was trying to protect everyone involved. Everyone except me. I pulled out my phone, showing him the photo David had taken earlier, Ryan carrying Liam on his shoulders, both laughing. You look happy. Happier than you've been here in years. Gabby, please. The front door opened again. Evelyn's voice rang out. Hello? Anyone home? Ryan's eyes widened in panic. Don't. In here, Evelyn. I called back, not breaking eye contact with my husband. Perfect timing. We were just discussing Liam. Evelyn appeared in the doorway, taking in the scene, my rigid posture, Ryan's pale face, the dinosaur book between us. Oh, she said softly. Oh, Ryan, you didn't. Mother, I can explain. Can you? I cut in. Can you explain 5 years of lies? Of playing happy families with Chloe while I waited at home, trusting you. This isn't the way to handle this, Ryan snapped. You're being irrational. Irrational? I grabbed my keys. I'll show you irrational. I'm going to see Chloe. Gabriella, don't. What's wrong, Ryan? I was already moving toward the door. Afraid of what other secrets she might tell me? Where are you going? Evelyn called after me. To get answers. I paused in the doorway, looking back at my husband. And Ryan? Don't be here when I get back. The door slammed behind me, cutting off their protests. In my car, my phone buzzed with messages Ryan, Evelyn, even one from David warning me to calm down. I ignored them all, typing Chloe's address into my GPS. Time to meet the other woman who thought she knew my husband. Chloe's house looked exactly like I'd imagined, pristine white exterior, carefully tended garden. A child's bike lying carelessly across the front path. Perfect, except for the yoga mat forgotten in the rain. I didn't knock. The spare key was under the pot of dying mums, just where David had watched Ryan retrieve it hours earlier. The house smelled like lavender and something else familiar cologne. Ryan's cologne. Hello? Chloe's voice drifted down from upstairs. Ryan? Did you forget something? My heels clicked against hardwood floors as I followed the sound. Family photos lined the stairwell, Liam at various ages, always alone or with Chloe. Until the most recent ones. There he was with Ryan at a baseball game at the park, building a snowman. I found her in what must be Liam's room, folding tiny t-shirts covered in dinosaurs. She turned, smile freezing when she saw me. Gabriella. She recovered quickly, smoothing her yoga pants. This is unexpected. Funny. I was going to say the same about finding my husband's life scattered all over your house. She set down a half-folded shirt. It's not what you think. Everyone keeps saying that. I picked up a framed photo from the dresser, Ryan teaching Liam to ride a bike. But it looks exactly like what I think. Ryan's just being kind. Helping out an old friend. Old friend. I traced Liam's face in the photo. Or old flame. Chloe's serene mask slipped. He told you. He didn't have to. 5 years of secret payments, mysterious appointments, forgotten dinosaur books. I met her eyes in the mirror. Liam has Ryan's eyes. Please. She stepped toward me. This isn't. We never meant to hurt me? Then why send in that beach photo? The one where you're pregnant? She flinched. You found that last week, right before the payments increased. I set down the frame. Blackmail looks good on you, Chloe. It's not blackmail. Her calm cracked. Ryan wanted to help. He chose to be part of Liam's life. After you threatened to tell everyone the truth? I never threatened anything. But her eyes darted away. He made his own choices. Like the choice to sleep with you 5 years ago? Or the choice to lie to his wife every day since? Movement caught my eye, a small figure in the doorway. Liam stood there, clutching a stuffed dinosaur, staring at us with Ryan's eyes. Mommy? His voice trembled. Is Daddy coming back tonight? The world tilted. Daddy. Not Ryan. Daddy. Chloe rushed to him. Sweetie, go back downstairs. Mommy's talking to a friend. I know who she is. Liam looked at me. You're in the pictures Daddy hides in his office. With Emma. My phone buzzed, Ryan calling again. I silenced it, but not before seeing his text. Please come home. We can fix this. Fix what? I whispered, more to myself than them. The fact that my daughter has a secret brother? That my whole marriage is a lie. It's complicated, Chloe said, holding Liam closer. No, it's actually very simple. I pulled out my phone, scrolling to the photos David had taken. Ryan chose this. Chose you. Both of you. I showed her the screen, dozens of pictures spanning months. Ryan and Liam at the park, at restaurants, at school events. A secret family album. He loves Emma too, she said quietly. Enough to risk losing her? I headed for the stairs. Hope your perfect little family was worth it, Chloe. Because tomorrow, everyone knows the truth. Wait, she called after me. What are you going to do? I paused at the front door, looking back at them, the yoga instructor and the little boy with my husband's eyes. I'm going to do what Ryan never could. Make a choice. My phone buzzed again as I reached my car. This time it was Aiden, Ryan's best friend. We need to talk. There's something you should know about Chloe. I started the engine, watching Liam wave goodbye through his bedroom window. Tomorrow, I'd destroy the carefully constructed lie they'd all protected for 5 years. But tonight, I needed to hear what Aiden knew. After all, the best revenge requires perfect timing. Aiden was waiting at Murphy's bar, nursing what looked like his third whiskey. The place was nearly empty, perfect for the kind of conversation that could destroy lives. You shouldn't have come alone, he said as I slid onto the bar stool beside him. Funny. Ryan said the same thing about Chloe 5 years ago. He winced. You've got it wrong. Do I? I pulled out my phone, showing him the photos. Because it looks pretty clear from here. That's not. He drained his glass. Chloe wasn't just Ryan's friend. She was his alibi. The word hung between us like smoke. Alibi for what? Remember that merger 5 years ago? The one that made Ryan partner. Aiden's fingers drummed against the empty glass. There were irregularities. The SEC started asking questions. What does this have to do with Chloe? Everything. He signaled for another drink. Ryan needed someone to verify his whereabouts during certain meetings. Chloe provided dates, times, receipts. She made it look like they were having an affair to cover up the financial stuff. I laughed, the sound sharp enough to make the bartender glance over. So he pretended to have an affair to hide fraud, then actually had an affair, and now has a secret child? That's your defense. Liam isn't Ryan's. The world tilted. What? Chloe was already pregnant when Ryan asked for her help. She used him. Threatened to tell the SEC everything unless he played along. Aiden pushed his fresh drink away. She's been bleeding him dry ever since. But the photos, the visits. Ryan's trying to protect everyone. If Chloe talks, he goes to prison. The SEC investigation is still open. My phone buzzed, a text from Ryan. Please come home. I can explain everything. Why tell me this now? I studied Aiden's face. After 5 years of lying? Because Chloe's getting greedy. She's demanding more money, threatening to tell Emma about her brother. Ryan's desperate. And you expect me to what? Feel sorry for him. I expect you to think about Emma. About what happens to her if Ryan goes to prison. The bartender approached. I waved him away, my mind racing. Does Evelyn know? About the fraud? No. She just thinks Ryan's being noble, helping an old friend. Aiden's laugh was bitter. Chloe played everyone perfectly. My phone buzzed again, David this time. Where are you? Ryan's here looking for you. If what you're saying is true, I said slowly, I could destroy them both. Chloe for blackmail, Ryan for fraud. And destroy your daughter's life in the process. I stood up, gathering my purse. You know what's funny? Everyone's so worried about protecting Emma. But none of you thought about protecting me. Gabby, wait. I'm done waiting. I headed for the door. Tell Ryan I got his messages. And tell him to be ready for tomorrow's family dinner. It's going to be memorable. What are you going to do? I paused, hand on the door. I'm going to give everyone exactly what they deserve. Outside, the night air was sharp with autumn chill. My phone lit up with another text from Chloe this time. We need to talk. About Liam. About everything. I typed back 3 words. Tomorrow. Dinner. 7. Then I called David. I need one more favor. Gabby, Ryan's looking everywhere for you. He seems scared. Good. I started my car. I need you to get me something from the office. Ryan's old files from the merger 5 years ago. Why? Because tomorrow night, everyone's masks come off. I pulled onto the street, heading home. And I want to make sure I'm holding all the cards when they do. The last text I sent was to Evelyn. Dinner's still on for tomorrow. Invite everyone. It's time for some family truth-telling. Her response was immediate. What are you planning? I didn't answer. Let them all wonder. Let them all worry. Tomorrow, they'd learn what happens when you back a woman into a corner and expect her to stay quiet. Tomorrow, they'd learn about revenge. The dining room gleamed with false perfection, crystal glasses, fine china, family photos mocking us from every wall. I'd set 7 places, though Emma was safely at David's house. Some conversations weren't meant for children's ears. Evelyn arrived first, clutching her signature casserole. Gabriella, dear, perhaps we should postpone. Sit down, Evelyn. I poured her wine with steady hands. You'll want to be seated for this. Ryan came next, then Aiden. They exchanged glances, taking their places without meeting my eyes. The merger files David had retrieved sat in a manila envelope beside my plate, untouched. The doorbell rang again. Chloe stood there, wearing yoga pants and determination. You said we needed to talk. I said we needed truth. I gestured to the dining room. All of us. She hesitated, then stepped inside. Liam's with a sitter. Of course he is. I closed the door. Wouldn't want him hearing about Daddy's fraud investigation. Ryan's wine glass crashed to the floor. Evelyn gasped. Aiden closed his eyes. That's right. I took my seat at the head of the table. Let's start with the SEC investigation from 5 years ago. The one Chloe helped cover up by pretending to have an affair with Ryan. Gabriella, Ryan started, you don't understand. Actually, I understand perfectly. I opened the envelope, spreading documents across the table. False receipts. Fake meeting records. All carefully crafted to hide where the money really went. Chloe's serene mask cracked. You can't prove anything. Can't I? I pulled out my phone, playing a recording. Chloe's voice demanding more money, threatening to expose everything. David's not the only one who knows how to follow people. You recorded me? Her yoga-toned shoulders tensed. That's illegal. So is blackmail. I turned to Evelyn. Did you know your perfect son committed fraud to make partner? That he paid Chloe to lie about an affair to cover it up? That she's been bleeding him dry ever since. Evelyn's face went ash-white. Ryan, it wasn't like that, he pleaded. The merger was falling apart. I had to. Had to what? I cut in. Had to lie? Had to risk everything? Had to play daddy to Chloe's son to keep her quiet? Liam isn't his. Chloe's voice cracked. I never said he was. You all assumed. We assumed nothing. I pulled out one last document. I had a DNA test done. With that dinosaur book Ryan left behind? The one covered in Liam's saliva. The room froze. Ryan's face drained of color. Would you like to know the results? I stood slowly. Would you like to know which one of you has been lying about Liam's paternity? Don't. Chloe's calm finally shattered. Please. Why not? Isn't that what this dinner is about? Truth. The truth, Ryan said quietly, is that I was trying to protect everyone. By destroying everything? I laughed, the sound brittle. Our marriage? Emma's security? Your career? I never meant. To get caught? I tossed the DNA results onto the table, unopened. Here's your truth, Ryan. I don't need to know if Liam's yours. I don't need to know if the affair was real or just cover for fraud. What I need is for everyone to understand exactly what they've done. What do you want? Chloe whispered. Want? I looked around the table, at Ryan's fear, Evelyn's shock, Aiden's guilt, Chloe's desperation. I want you all to live with your choices. The SEC gets these files tomorrow. The divorce papers are already filed. And Emma. My voice finally cracked. Emma never has to know her father chose lies over love. You'll destroy everything, Ryan said. No. I headed for the door, grabbing my coat. You did that yourself. Every lie, every choice, every moment you put your secrets above your family. I'm just making sure everyone pays the proper price. Where are you going? Evelyn called after me. To pick up my daughter. I paused in the doorway. The truth's all there on the table. Eat up. The door closed behind me, cutting off their protests. In my car, I finally let my hands shake, let the tears fall. Tomorrow would bring consequences, investigations, revelations. But tonight, for the first time in years, I could breathe. Sometimes revenge tastes like freedom. The SEC investigators arrived at 9 a.m. sharp. I watched from my car as they entered Ryan's office building, briefcases in hand. My phone hadn't stopped buzzing since last night. Ryan, Evelyn, even Chloe. I ignored them all. Until Aiden's text, Chloe's gone. Took Liam. Ryan's losing it. I found Ryan in our empty house, surrounded by scattered papers and half-packed boxes. The DNA test results lay unopened on the coffee table between us. Did you read it? I asked. Couldn't. His laugh was hollow. Doesn't matter now anyway. Chloe's running. With your money? With everything. He looked up, eyes red-rimmed. The SEC's here. Evelyn's not speaking to me. And you. He gestured helplessly. You destroyed everything. No. I picked up the test results. You did that yourself. Every lie, every choice. I had no choice. He surged to his feet. The merger was falling apart. Chloe offered an alibi. It was supposed to be simple. But then she got pregnant. Not by me. His voice cracked. She was already pregnant when she approached me. But she knew. Knew I'd do anything to keep the fraud hidden. So she played me. Played everyone. My phone buzzed. David. Found Chloe. Airport. Terminal C. She's running with your money, I said quietly. Everything you tried to protect, gone. Ryan's face crumpled. I deserve it. All of it. But Emma doesn't. Please, don't let her think. Think what? That her father chose lies over love? That he built a life on secrets and fraud? That I didn't love her enough to tell the truth? The front door opened. Chloe stood there, Liam clutching her hand. No yoga pants now, just travel clothes and desperation. You're not going anywhere, I said. Watch me. She pulled out her phone. One call to the SEC. They're already here. I opened the DNA results, finally reading what I'd known all along. And they know everything, including who Liam's real father is. Chloe's face went white. You can't. Aiden Carter. I met her eyes. Ryan's best friend. The one who helped set up the merger. The one who introduced you to Ryan in the first place. Ryan's head snapped up. What? Tell him, Chloe. Tell him how you and Aiden planned it all. How you used Ryan's guilt over the fraud to bleed him dry. How you made him play father to another man's child just to keep your secrets. It wasn't. Chloe's serene mask cracked completely. Aiden said it would be easy. Just pretend to have an affair, provide an alibi. But then I got pregnant and he panicked. Said Ryan would help, would keep quiet to protect everyone. So you took his money. Played on his guilt. Made him think he might be Liam's father. I needed security. Tears streaked her perfect makeup. Aiden wouldn't help. said he'd deny everything. But Ryan was noble, protective, easy to manipulate. Get out. Ryan's voice was ice. Take your son and go. But the money's gone. All of it. I've already confessed everything to the SEC. You'll go to prison, she whispered. Maybe. He picked up a family photo, Emma on his shoulders, both laughing. But at least my daughter will know I finally chose truth over lies. Chloe fled, dragging Liam with her. The door slammed behind them. The SEC's waiting, I said quietly. Ryan nodded, straightening his tie. I know. Will you? Will you tell Emma I'm sorry? That I tried to fix it in the end. Tell her yourself. When you get out. He paused at the door. I did love you, Gabby. That was never a lie. I know. I watched him walk away, shoulders straight. That's what made the betrayal worse. My phone buzzed one last time. David, SEC has Aiden in custody. Confessed everything. I deleted the message, along with all the others. Outside, Ryan's car pulled away, heading toward judgment and consequences. Inside, I stood in our empty house, surrounded by the wreckage of lies and the strange, clean feeling of truth. Sometimes revenge looks like justice after all. The divorce papers lay signed on my lawyer's desk, their crisp finality at odds with the mess they represented. Outside, autumn had given way to winter, matching the chill that had settled over our fractured lives. Ryan's sentencing is tomorrow, David said, walking me to my car. 3 to 5 years, probably. Aiden got 7. I pulled my coat tighter. Chloe disappeared with Liam. Evelyn's selling the house. And you? I smiled, surprising myself with how genuine it felt. I'm going back to work. Morrison and Associates offered me my old position. Marketing executive by day, single mom by night? He bumped my shoulder. Sounds exhausting. Sounds like freedom. My phone buzzed, a text from Ryan. Can we talk? Before tomorrow. I found him at our old spot in Riverside Park, the bench where he'd proposed 12 years ago. He looked smaller somehow, his designer suit replaced by department store casual. Emma asks about you, I said, sitting beside him. What do you tell her? That her father made mistakes, but loves her enough to face them. He nodded, watching a family pass by, mother, father, laughing children. I kept thinking about that DNA test. How it could have been mine. How I almost wanted it to be, to justify everything. Would it have made a difference? No. He smiled sadly. That's what I finally understood. The lies were the problem, not the reasons for them. Did you ever wonder why I left the test unopened at first? Because you already knew the truth? Because the truth about Liam didn't matter. I stood, brushing off my coat. What mattered was what the lies revealed about us. About you. About me. About you. I wanted revenge. Wanted to destroy everything you built on lies. The winter wind caught my hair. But in the end, the truth was revenge enough. Ryan's shoulders slumped. I'm sorry. For all of it. I know. I started to walk away, then paused. Emma's dance recital is next month. I'll send you pictures. Gabby? His voice was small. Was any of it real? Us. I thought about our wedding day, Emma's birth, countless small moments of genuine love buried under years of deception. The love was real. The trust wasn't. And you can't have one without the other. At home, Emma was waiting, homework spread across the kitchen table. Mom? Can I ask you something? Always. Are you sad about Dad? About everything. I sat beside her, looking at her math problems, simple equations, clear answers. If only life were that straightforward. I'm sad about the choices he made, I said carefully. But not about standing up for the truth. Even though it hurt people, sometimes the truth hurts less than lies in the long run. She nodded, wise beyond her years. Like ripping off a Band-Aid? Exactly like that. My phone buzzed one last time. Evelyn, Ryan's lawyer, called. He's pleading guilty tomorrow. No deals, no excuses. Said you taught him about facing consequences. I deleted the message without responding. Outside, snow began to fall, covering our garden in clean white. The revenge I'd sought had transformed into something else, not forgiveness, exactly, but understanding. Understanding that sometimes justice looks like letting go, like choosing truth over comfort, like teaching your daughter that love without honesty is just another pretty lie. Emma returned to her homework, humming softly. I watched her, this child who would grow up knowing that strength sometimes means walking away, that love sometimes means demanding better. That truth, however painful, is always preferable to comfortable deception. The snow fell harder, erasing footprints, covering the past in clean possibility. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new choices, new chances to choose truth over lies. But tonight, in this moment, we were exactly where we needed to be. Sometimes the best revenge is simply living well, on your own terms, in your own truth. In your own truth. In your own truth. In your own truth. In your own